Victor Davis Hanson, in his book Carnage and Culture, explained how the West, through numerous battles in history, demonstrated a difference in culture and a difference in mindset that differentiated them from the majority of the world. Um, the idea of Western civilization is still relevant today because primarily it's the culmination of 1,000 years of political development. And it also highlights the ability for individual opportunity, as Dinesh D'Souza explained in his book, What's So Great About America. First off, from a mindset of governance, there's a linear concept that can be traced all the way back to Aristotle and the Greeks, from which we get our democratic ideas today, and more importantly, the republic. Aristotle and the Greeks, again, Aristotle, according to Rosenthal and Poobel, pointed out that have a different concept of freedom, where it's not just individual freedom from political or external oppressions, but also an internal freedom or responsibility, a need to act in a specific way, which was something that the U.S. founders stressed in all their documents on the founding of our republic. You can also trace it again through the Roman Republic. They look back to Aristotle and some of the Greek mentality and ideas, to the Magna Carta in England, and then down, of course, to American and French revolutions, but more importantly, American independence. Also pointed out by Berlin, and somewhat negatively, but the idea of negative freedom being specific freedoms that we are given from the government, or as our founders would say, not necessarily from the government, but God-given rights. However, the idea of negative freedom is what Berlin was talking about, is spelled out in our Bill of Rights. Also, we can trace Western civilization according to religion. If you look closely, there's no doubt that America was founded on religious principles, primarily Christian principles, and those are you can be traced back to Byzantium, as well as the Roman Empire, then also much of Europe, obviously the Holy Roman Empire being prominent there. Birkin pointed out that in his expanded view of the West, that it would have to include Byzantium and the Roman Empire. Although I would contend that both of those don't contribute a whole lot to our culture, or necessarily our political foundations. They do contribute to the Western concept of freedom as it was preserved throughout there. And also in religion, this is an opposite, or as pushed by Rosenthal Poobel again, the connection of Aristotle and Christianity. I thought he did an excellent job of demonstrating how the two are closely entwined, with the concept of slavery to self and others, two prominent ideas that resound through both Aristotle as well as Christianity. And finally, culture. Aristotle's independence of the Europeans, which he discussed as being anti-intellectual, but also kind of a rugged independence, is very important in Western society. Again, Victor Davis Hanson's Western Way of War, or Carnage and Culture, talks specifically about the idea of fighting for ideas and family and self, being different to the much of the rest of the world, where you fight because others basically make you to, or force you to. And that is a specific Western civilization tradition or idea that has pushed the Western civilization forward. It is important to us today as well. And finally, intellectual culture trends. It's not just Western, but the development of intellectualism in the West, again, can be traced back through Byzantium and the Roman Empire as well. But there is a linear development built upon one generation after another, from Aristotle through today. Kind of funny, Thomas Cahill's How the Irish Saved Civilization. A little bit tongue-in-cheek there, but he was definitely correct in the way Irish monks were able to preserve that long tradition of text, long heritage of text, dating all the way back to Aristotle that we built on today, and our Constitution is founded on.